Good morning and welcome to AM Break with Ann and Audra. It's been such a good week and I hesitate right there. I'm so sorry. But yeah, it's AM Break with Ann and Audra. I'm Ann, you're Audra. It's a really good weekend.
Oh yeah, Easter weekend and
Passover, both, yep. Had a very good time. I actually celebrated Passover with the Merzers and the Flemings and the Petleys, and Joel was there. So we actually have some footage of Vince and Solly doing the 4 questions. Then we also had events at Myers Park and all over town for actual Easter Day, which was last Sunday.
Well, explain, how does this work with Passover? Like, I know it correlates, maybe help us understand at home too.
So basically, for me, it's a lot of eating, which is not
the
true meaning of Passover. So Passover is to celebrate how the Jews were taken care of after leaving Egypt. And it's basically saying thank you and being grateful for that. And there's 4 questions, there's some traditions and stuff. When you do Passover with the Merzers,
it's another ball game.
You know what? That's so funny you said that, because we actually sing a song to the tune of "Take Me Out to the Ball Game," or actually not this time. We sing something different. But great food, great camaraderie. They always make you feel so welcome, like Passover's supposed to be. And they actually do a condensed version. Marty Mercer was telling me when he was a younger man doing some of these events with his family, it would go on and on and on and on and on and on and on for hours.
Oh boy.
They actually had the power go out once. They kept going.
Light some candles. Okay, that's serious commitment to.
So yes, right.
All right, the celebration. Well, the girls and Sean and I, we went to the Thornberrys, Marcia and Bob Thornberry.
Right.
And initially we were invited by Ted and Joan Thomas. They said, oh, come with us for Easter, because we don't have family in town.
Right.
And man, let me tell you, that was Palom's first Easter egg hunt. And now every time we pull up, she's like, where are the eggs?
Right.
I'm like, well, Paloma, let's go say hello and greet everybody and maybe eat some lunch and do that. And so I brought her basket, and now the twins, they're only 18 months, so I didn't bring baskets. I'm like, they're not.
May or may not get it right.
Oh boy.
Oh, was there a
Phoebe?
meltdown?
No, Phoebe, we had to get plastic bags. Like, I felt like I failed as a mother a little bit with the plastic bags. But Phoebe, like, went, and she's like, wait, I got an egg, and there's something in him. And she opened him, and she was like, on from there.
Give me some more eggs.
Running around, and the problem was, like, I couldn't get her to let go and put him in the basket. She's like, no. Like, Phoebe's the type that always had to have, like, both fistful of food or things, and
that's okay.
I'm not sharing.
She sounds like my
hands
kind
off.
of lady.
Yeah, so, but it was good. So, filled the baskets, and got candy overload, crashed, and all of that. Yeah.
But that's a good Easter.
It is.
Yeah, and you get bunnies and stuff like that, so it's always fun. All right, so we actually, speaking of Easter and candy, let's go ahead and talk about some of the candy that we have right here. Now, I'll let you.
All right, so every time we come into the store, I feel like there's like a new treat or treasure, furniture or something, and I saw these in these big glass bowls, and oh my gosh. So it's Kepper's chocolate, blue milk chocolate marshmallow eggs, and help yourself.
Okay.
Like, I feel like these are some things you would see like in a little nest, decorations and everything.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so if I start eating, I'm just gonna polish off the whole bowl. Okay.
You gotta eat one.
I will, but I gotta talk about it a little bit. I think this will be one of our featured gifts. Now, candy-coated chocolate seashells. These are gorgeous. I mean, these are like our little works of art here.
Yeah, I kind of want to eat them.
I know. So, you know, get a little dish.
I'm gonna.
I feel like if I was like the Martha Stewart of hostesses, I would have like these in guest rooms and things. Like, oh, welcome to my home.
These are these
crunchy,
good?
Yeah, they're crunchy like candy, like big old M&Ms maybe. All right. And the next thing I want to talk about,
M&Ms.
big old M&Ms. They don't talk though.
Right.
The next thing I want to talk about though is this. How cool is this? I don't know.
Get crabby.
Joel, can we get a shot? Now, I was talking before, you know, my birthday's in July 13th for anyone.
July 24th.
Okay. Cancer the crab, thank you. But my babies are Leos, just like you, so perfect. But anyway, I want to show you this by an artist named Karen Chandler, local artist, and maybe we'll get a shot of another large piece that she does. But essentially, it's glass. I mean, like, I'm really scared to hold this, but how cool is this?
That is beautiful.
It's dimensional, but the little crab, like, on the beach. So, you see?
I always wonder how people think of this stuff. Like, I mean, I don't know.
They're just in another realm of thinking, Anne.
Yeah, meaning they're creative and Ann Howard is not. So
you can be, see, there's an artist within all of us. We can all do this. So, yeah. And also the piece over here, did you see this? There's a seahorse.
Okay.
Yeah, seahorse.
Oh.
And like all this crushed glass. So, you know, I always talk to my friend. Yeah.
Oh.
I talk to my friend Kelly Pettit, who's also an artist. I'm like, Kelly, I know you know about this. Teach me how to do this. So maybe one of these days I'll learn how to do some glass, and I'll make an A for Anne.
Oh.
Maybe something like that.
Or an A for Audra.
But dude, I'm like scared to cut my hands. Like, I'd be the one like, oh, look at this glass, and I just, you know, slice my vein and all that.
There's that too.
There's some handling and care that's involved with that. But Anyway, oh, speaking of like weapons and things.
Wow.
I didn't tell you what I did this weekend. We also went and saw a movie at the Challenger Learning Center. It was a buy one, get one free date night.
Ooh.
How cool is that? So,
Good for you, Sean.
yeah. Actually, Michelle treated us. She treated us.
Oh,
So
okay. Thank
we know
you,
some
Michelle.
people over there at Challenger, and saw American Sniper, big screen, like holy cow. And
Right.
I wasn't ready for it. I don't want to spoil it for those of you who have not seen it, but it's.
I was told it's such a good movie, you forget how gorgeous Bradley Cooper is.
Oh yeah, it really, you really do. And then
That's
you
gotta
look at
be
the guy
quite
that,
amazing.
the guy who it's based off of. You're like, oh, that guy was hot too. Like, that
was he attractive?
Yeah.
I've never.
So you know, sometimes they like,
I've read interviews. I haven't seen any pictures of him.
he's an attractive guy. So sometimes, you know, when they cast movies, you're like, really?
Yeah.
You're stretching it.
Right.
But the guy and his wife, they,
Like Johnny
Pretty
Depp
good.
playing the guy from the movie Blow. When they showed the picture of that guy, I was
Yeah,
like,
not so
being,
much.
Being
So,
really,
Power
really
of
nice
Hollywood.
having Johnny Depp play that part.
like, thank you.
I wasn't quite as good looking as Johnny. Okay, so yeah, all right. Well, awesome.
So a lot of good things going on in Tallahassee, and now I get to eat before our next break, right?
Right, you do get to eat before our next break. However, before we get to that, so last week we had some friends on from It Works, and they brought a bevy of
right.
different products that they have, including the wraps, which I actually enjoyed. I don't know if my stretch marks look any better, but my skin does look better
Okay.
and a little tighter, so I will get more of those and continue to do them. And then I'm also using their hair, skin, and nails. And this is actually amazing. So I need to take I did take
Your
a
hair
before
is
picture.
growing. Okay.
Right. And I need to take an after picture, and I'll maybe do that for the next show. But my nails they feel like metal nails. I mean, they're really, really hard. Yes, very, very hard. And I think my skin looks better, and yeah. Apparently, everyone thinks my hair is growing, or maybe it's
It
just
is.
in my head. I'm not sure.
No, I really think it is. So.
But anyway, so
good
this is a
stuff.
great product if you're looking for anything for hair, nails, and skin. Hair, skin, and nails is this one's called. It's awesome.
I'll get my candy.
I
on
love
that
it.
note.
Love
Thank
it,
you.
love it, love it. All right, when we come back, we've got president of the PBA, Big Bend, here with us, Stephen Slade, and then we're also going to talk about some other things that have happened around Tallahassee, so stay with us.
Welcome to Cabela's Hair and Nail Studio in Midtown Spa. Come to Cabela's and experience the high-scale salon experience and let us cater to your every beauty need. Conveniently located in Midtown above the Wine Loft. Cabela's, a fun and energetic and pampering place to plan an escape just for you.
Every child needs a mentor, a positive role model. For me, that was my grandmother. For more than 110 years, Big Brothers Big Sisters has been making meaningful monitored matches between adult volunteers and children. And these positive relationships have direct and measurable impacts. Help a child realize his or her potential. Visit bigbrothersbigsisters.org.
Welcome back. Joining me right now, I have the president of the Big Bend PBA, Stephen Slade. Thank you so much for joining us again. It's great to have you back.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so we're talking about something that's recently made some headlines, which is the Tallahassee Police Department has made a request for 20 more officers for the upcoming year.
Yes, Chief DeLeo and his staff has requested through the budgetary process for FY 2016, 2017, 2018 an increase in manpower. This year was probably the most aggressive of the 3 years. He's requested 16 additional officers for patrol work, as well as 10 community service officers, and I believe 4 investigators.
Right.
As some people may or may not know, the Tallahassee Police Department has not grown with the city of Tallahassee. Back in 2000, a manpower was studied by the Police Executive Research Forum, PERF, that based on our workload and our philosophy of community-oriented policing, that officers were working at the 70% level, and their recommendation, if you're going to do community-oriented policing, that the calls for service response should be around the 35%, and we were really high. Now we're probably about 80%. One of the things that Chief DeLeo addressed when he first came here was that we were down, the officers were responding call to call. And as I previously stated, we're at the 80% level, so it doesn't give the officers the opportunity to get out and mingle and get to know their areas of, or their beats where they work to talk around and get to know the community and interact with the community. They're just going from call to call.
And that's what community
Oriented policing is, yes. It's getting out there, knowing your neighborhoods, walking around, getting to know the individuals in your areas, and so that the people or the citizens will get to know the officers. And you know, when you develop a relationship with the citizens,
it's a trust level.
Is a trust level. They understand how the police department operates. You get an opportunity to interact with the community, and those individuals will let you know what problems they have in the community, whether it be crime or quality of life issues.
And how does the PBA feel about that? Do you agree that that is the way to police?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely, and we support the chief's request because, like I said, you know, this study was done back in 2000, and I believe Chief Dennis Jones did one as well under his tenure here, and the city of Tallahassee has not grown the police department with the community. I mean, we have over 186,000 residents, and that's not counting the college students and the people that transgress back and forth in and out the city. And we just haven't kept pace. Crime has been up, I think, according to the Uniform Crime Report, about 25%. As we all know, violent crime has gone up. Last year, we had, I believe, 14 murders in this community, and also we had 8 officer-involved shootings,
right,
which was almost an 800% increase. And so far this year, we've had 2.
Well, we'll talk more about the officer-involved shootings in just a moment, but there are some folks at home and in the community who would say it doesn't matter how many police officers you have. If you have good police officers, you have good police officers. There's no correlation between a lack of police officers and an increase in crime. What is your response to them?
Well, right now, the Tallahassee Police Department responds to every call for service. If you are, as a citizen, put in a call for service, we respond regardless of what type of call it is. We have calls that that if you called in a burglary or you saw a suspicious person at your neighbor's house, we respond to those calls. And what the level of volume of call for service have gone up tremendously.
Right.
And officers are going from call to call. And the only way to reduce that is, number one, to get more officers on the street.
Right.
Or number 2, stop responding to certain different types of calls. And I think right now, the city and the Tallahassee Police Department's philosophy is not to stop responding to calls, because as that citizen, we work for you. So when you call us and expect us to be there, then we will be there. So, like I said, you know, we built the Southwood community, and we didn't expand police officers there. I mean, we do have officers that patrol that on the southeast side of town, but just quite simply, the department has not grown with the community. Right now, I think we are authorized to have 361 officers, and the way our shifts are configured currently, you may at best have 20 officers on the road at one time. So, you know, that is not acceptable with the volume of calls that we have in this community.
Does the PBA have a recommendation? So if you have 20 officers out, does the PBA have a recommendation?
No.
Okay.
We rarely get involved with manpower. We support the administration when they make those requests, because we know as law enforcement officers that we've had a shortage for years, and it hasn't been addressed by the city of Tallahassee. And we're hoping that based on the increase of crime and violent crimes in this community, and the chief of police and his staff pointing out that there's a need, and he's showing a justifiable need, we're hoping that the city commission will grant him those positions.
Wonderful. Okay, well, we will stay up to date as to what happens with that request as it progresses. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to talk more about officer-involved shootings and the PBA's involvement when something like that happens.
Yes.
So we'll be right back.
Brian Barnard's Flooring America is more than just a flooring store.
As part of America's leading flooring retail group, our buying power ensures that you receive the best value and guarantees.
At Flooring America, we're experts in flooring sales and design, and will help you find the perfect floor for the way you live. We're locally owned and dedicated to providing you with the highest levels of customer service.
Our family has continued to serve Tallahassee since 1976. We are Brian Barnard's Flooring America, where friends send friends.
Welcome back. We are here again at Wheezy's Cottage with our president of the local Big Bend PBA. Tell me more. We've seen an increase in officer-involved shootings. And when that happens, the PBA can get involved and represent that officer if they're a member of the PBA, or even if they're not, I think as well. The PBA can get involved and help represent that officer to make sure that the whole process and the investigation and everything's done fairly. Tell me more about that in case the average person at home doesn't understand how all of that works.
Yes. Well, one of the things that we provide to our membership is legal representation. So when an officer is involved in a shooting incident, normally I get a phone call from somewhere or somebody out there on scene, and the first thing I do is contact one of our attorneys. We have on-call attorneys, and that attorney and I respond to the scene to make contact with that officer. Of course, we check on the well-being of the officer and make sure that he or she is doing okay. Once we get on scene, I normally speak with that particular officer involved or officers involved in the incident, and I'm normally there before the attorney. So I normally just, assure the officer that everything's going to be okay. Make sure they've contacted their significant others and let them know what has occurred, so that they don't hear from any media sources. Right. And then once the attorney gets there, I take a step back, because now you're looking at a criminal investigation, and what transpired at that particular scene is now between that particular involved officer and their legal counsel.
Sure. And it's perfectly normal that that TPD, for example, would put that officer on paid administrative leave. Yes, that's the standard that automatically happens when. Yes. Okay.
And there's a misconception out there that the PBA has a policy that, and I've heard the number 72 used, that officers won't make a statement prior to 72 hours. First of all, the PBA does not have a policy. Just like any other citizen, a police officer involved in a officer-involved shooting incident, it is a criminal investigation, and they have the right to counsel.
Sure.
And when they decide to make a statement, it's between their legal counsel and that particular officer. Now, in our department policy, there's a policy that says that the criminal investigation will attempt to set up an interview within 48 hours, and we have a good relationship as far as when that transpires. But quite frankly, if an officer wanted to utilize the full extent of their constitutional right, they wouldn't have to make a statement. We've never had that, but that is that officer's right, and it's not a PBA policy. It's that officer's constitutional right between them and the attorney. Once the attorney has gotten the facts for the particular incident, when that officer is ready to make a statement, just like it would be if you were under criminal investigation and you consulted with your attorney. So, I want to clear that up, because, like I said, the PBA doesn't have any policy of when a particular officer speaks with the investigators.
Right.
And then normally 100% the officer is put on administrative leave. It's been paid administrative leave, and that's for the officer's protection, to kind of get them out of the limelight, try to get their thoughts together and go through that legal process, because sometimes after the grand jury hearing, because all of the shootings go through the grand jury process, then the department looks and see whether or not any administrative policies have been committed, and they can look at it as a special investigation or an internal investigation.
Right.
And what we do for PBA members, we keep that particular attorney that was assigned to that particular officer through that process as well.
Sure. Okay, so again, for clarification, this is actually, it's not a policy, it's common sense.
Yes, ma'am.
When you're involved with something as stressful as being an officer and you shoot someone in the line of duty, I think common sense would dictate, just hold off and not say anything until you get to speak to your attorney, till you've let everything settle down just a little bit and get your ducks in a row.
And there's documentation out there by psychologists that says if a person delays giving that statement, they give a better recantment or recognition of what actually transpired than versus the original statement, i.e. if I was involved in one right now and then investigators came out and I gave a statement right away, you're still going through that kind of stress and shock situation psychologically, than waiting 24 to 48 to 72 hours where you've had everything kind of sink in and you start remembering the little details and process all that information, and you can give a better overall statement.
Right. Well, I think it's also pretty common that we often don't hear from the officers who are involved in things like this. And it's actually part of their duty, possibly. We all hope that it never happens with an officer, that this would happen in their career. But I actually expect to never hear from the officer. I don't.
No,
I think the investigation is enough information for the general public.
And police officers will not go out and typically discuss shooting incidents that they've been involved in unless specifically questioned about something. Like I said, during the grand jury process, that's a closed hearing.
Sure.
The attorney gets to go in there with it, and then the state attorney's office gets the opportunity, once all evidence has been presented, submit a report. So, and then that, that way they can say if the officer did something criminally wrong, then they can be criminally charged, and if not, then they may look at policy and procedures, but normally that's dealt with through the police department.
Okay. All right. Well, that is all very, very interesting. We'll keep up to date with the headlines in the news as it relates to officers currently in the process right now for the Tallahassee Police Department and other departments across the viewing area. All right. Well, we thank you so very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
We'll be right back.
Copper's chocolate are our item of the week at Wheezy's Cottage and Home. Their milk chocolate covered candy shell finished with a thin, colorful seashell candy coating makes a great hostess gift for your upcoming beach trips. Also featuring milk chocolate marshmallow eggs and dark chocolate covered pistachios. Come into Wheezy's and try some.
The body only performs as to what you put into it.
We cook it fresh and we bring it to you every day.
Helping people to maximize their effort, whether they're training in the gym, whether they want to gain weight, whether they're trying to lose weight.
Need someone to show me how to eat right, the right ingredients, the right portions, and make it easy where it's delivered at my door.
It's the large variety of food. I definitely love it.
It's just been absolutely delicious. I mean, stuff's really, really, really good. Just a lifestyle change.
Welcome back to AM Break, and we are here at Wheezy's where we've actually spent the morning eating chocolate.
Happy breakfast.
Happy breakfast, which I feel no guilt about whatsoever.
No.
But in the interest of staying on track physically, I actually had the chance to go to Orange Theory, which is one of our new fitness centers in Midtown. Had a very good time with it. The first time I'd heard of Orange Theory, I actually saw it as a post from a friend who now lives in Orlando, and I thought it was an ice cream place. I don't know why.
It does sound
I heard Orange Theory, and I thought about orange creamsicles.
Pretty much.
I don't know why that came to mind or what, but that's what I was thinking, and this friend of mine would definitely go to ice cream joints often. So, but I was really, really proud of him and his girlfriend because, as it turns out, Orange Theory is this amazing, crazy workout where they take you through various, either the treadmill or the rower, which I'm actually not very good at. How are you? You're tall.
No, actually, I wanted to do crew when I was at UConn, see, because they said like usually 5'9" and above.
Right.
It's like a natural thing.
Correct, and it's not a natural thing for a girl whose legs are this long and her torso is that long. It's not a short girl thing, but field hockey is.
Oh yeah, and that's
but there's no field hockey in there. Anyway, no, I'm close to the ground. So went into this workout.
Okay.
It is truly a backside kicker, completely unique, different from anything else I've ever done. You've got the rower, you've got the treadmills, and you go between those two, and then you've also got a workout room, if you will, that includes a bench, free weights, the TRX bands, Bosu ball, is that what it's called? All that stuff.
Now I hear the whole point is to really also monitor your heart rate. Did you get the heart rate monitor to get the accurate?
I did. So you take this heart rate monitor, you put it underneath your shirt or sports bra or whatever, and it goes up against your skin. And there's this big flat screen where you get to watch your heart rate.
Put all your business out there? And you're not working out.
Correct.
Turn it up.
Turn it up. But they also say turn it down, because it's a heartbeat thing where you get it up and down, up and down, up and down, and you continue to burn fat throughout the day.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and take a look at Orange Theory Tallahassee.
Okay, I started as a client in Fort Lauderdale about 4.5 years ago. The company's 5 years old. And, I was working out in the area doing Pilates nearby and belonged to another gym, and it's very outdoorsy there. And I kept walking by this place and seeing the crowds out front, and finally walked in and looked at the workout, decided okay, and found it to be very challenging, even though I was pretty fit, and just became an addict.
You meet friends, you expect to see people, and you develop those relationships. Even with the trainer, I have people that come to my classes only. They rather, they develop a relationship with me. I understand what they're trying to do. I understand what they are capable of.
Everybody's wearing a heart rate monitor, and they're shown throughout the studio on screens throughout the studio so you know which of 5 heart rate zones you're in. There's no contracts. It's month to month. We have to earn the right for your business. Every time you come in, we give you an excellent experience with an elite program with people that are focused on your results and hold you accountable for achieving those. So you keep on showing up, and we'll deliver our side of it, and results appear. Or we give you your money back.
A butt kicker.
Good job, Ann.
Yes,
and you
for sure.
continue to really take one for the team and for our friends at home. Like, wow. Gotta commend you on that.
And our Julie Puckett is now working at Orange Theory with Stanley
Congrats,
Bell.
Julie.
Two people that I really love a whole bunches, and also very fit, and they do their health thing. But they're opening up another location, Orange Theory is. They haven't decided where. They're still working out those details, but they've been doing so well.
Maybe people at home could say, hey, one over here, we
This
need it. I
way.
got a whole crew.
Yeah,
we'll sign up.
Yeah,
Right.
email them and let them know where you would best like to see another Orange Theory, which is closer to home.
Right. Now, Ann, the other thing we have to talk about is KCCI Music Week.
All right.
All right, so that's going on. Just on Tuesday, we had a proclamation from the city declaring April the month of festivals. Yes. So we had KCCI Music Week, Artists in Bloom over at FAMU. We have Word of South coming up, Southern Shakes, Chain of Parks.
Right, and this coming weekend is going to be the big blowout. I mean, all week long we've had music all over the even in grocery stores and different music venues. It's just been all over the place. Banks, everywhere. But this weekend's going to be the big blowout, and I know your staff at Coca has been hitting it hard.
Let's get a shout out to Amanda Carrioff Thompson and Erica Thaler. They really got involved with volunteering for KCCI Music Week. For those of you who don't know, Night Creative Community Initiative.
Or Institute, I can't remember.
I always say Institute.
I just, I'm so used to calling them KCCI. I love them. Either way, KCCI.
Institute Initiative. It was an initiative from the Catalyst class. So they get these people together and they say, like, how can we transform this community? Years ago, Rick Miner and a whole bevy of other people got involved and said, hey, let's have a Music Week festival. And, like, it's here. So you see how things can happen in this community?
Absolutely.
Just volunteer. Don't complain. Volunteer. Do something.
So yeah, that was a great week. Again, if you're looking for something to do this weekend, it's pretty much music. That's your main and only option. Challenger Learning Center has some stuff going on, so you might want to check them out too if you get musiced out. But we hope that you don't.
Yep. So, Ann, I'm feeling a little tired.
Yeah. So I think we're gonna
a lot. It's a lot.
We're gonna say good morning, have a great day, and we will see you next week.